A regular meeting of the Board of Trustees of the McAllen Independent School District will be held Tuesday, November 12, 2024, beginning at 5:30 p.m. at the Dr. Ricardo Chapa Boardroom Administration Building of the McAllen Independent School District, 2000 North 23rd Street, McAllen, Texas 78501. Items listed on this agenda may be taken in an order other than that shown on this agenda. Unless removed from the consent agenda, items identified within the consent agenda will be acted on at one time. At this meeting, there may be discussion and action by the board on the items and subjects listed as follows. Call the meeting to order. I have done so at 5:30 p.m. Number 2, please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. And number 3, Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item number 4, public comments. We have 2, and we have a recording.
Here are the public comment procedures. Number 1, individuals who wish to participate during the portion of the meeting designated for public comment shall sign up at McAllenisd.org at least 1 hour prior to the start of the scheduled meeting. Number 2, an individual's comments to the board shall not exceed 2 minutes per meeting. Number 3, the board shall not tolerate disruption of the meeting by members of the audience. Thank you.
Información a personas para comentarios públicos. Número 1. Las personas que deseen participar durante la parte de la reunión designada por comentarios públicos deberán registrarse en McAllenisd.org al menos 1 hora antes del inicio de la reunión programada. Número 2. Los comentarios de un individuo a la Junta no excederán de 2 minutos por reunión. Y por último, número 3. La Junta no tolerará la perturbación de la reunión por parte de los miembros del público asistente. Gracias.
Okay. We have, first speaker is Michael Avila. I don't see him. Natalie, is he out? He's not. Thanks, Mark. We'll let him address if he shows up. Jesse Barba. Coming up, sir. Mr. Barba, you'll have 2 minutes. We're not going to interrupt you. The clock is on, and it'll start when you start.
Thank you, ma'am. Good evening, board trustees, superintendent, fellow community members. My name is Jesse Barba, and I'm here to express my deep disappointment in the recent decision to remove weighted points from the Theory of Knowledge course, or TOK, for our current juniors, sophomores, and freshmen. The decision to grant weighted credit to TOK 1 and 2 was made with the understanding that these rigorous courses deserve the same recognition as other advanced classes. Many students committed to the later years of the IB program in good faith, believing their hard work in TOK would be accurately reflected in their GPA and in their class rank. Now, nearly halfway through the academic year, that promise has been taken away. The weight has been stripped from their courses, and the trust they place in the district has been broken. The weight for TOK was intended to align with a 2-year AP capstone diploma, which includes AP seminar and AP research. For years, despite recognition by the State Board of Education and the curriculum bulletin as advanced courses, TOK classes were denied equal weight. We believe the district had finally corrected this past injustice with the August 20 curriculum bulletin announcing the new weight before classes began. But now, by reversing this decision, the district has once again placed these students at a disadvantage. What's just as concerning is the lack of transparency throughout this process. Weighted decisions should be consistent, should be aligned with other rigorous programs, and above all, they should be transparent. Students and parents deserve clear criteria for how course weights are assigned, especially when it affects college admissions and scholarship opportunities. Yet, we've seen these decisions can change unexpectedly without sufficient communication or even accountability. This creates confusion and undermines trust in our district's commitment to recognizing academic rigor. Tonight, I urge the board to stand for transparency and weighting the decisions. Decisions that impact GPAs, class rank, and students' futures should not be made behind closed doors or reversed without a thorough input from stakeholders. We need a clear, documented process for assigning those weights and guarantees that no student will be disadvantaged by mid-course changes. I appreciate the time, and I ask you to please consider transparency. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Barba. Item number 5, Superintendent's report.
Yes, the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley and McAllen ISD celebrated the new UTRGV McAllen ISD Collegiate Academy with a ribbon-cutting ceremony on October the 29th. This new venture enables students to participate in a dual enrollment program with both entities and acquire college credits prior to high school graduation. We have a short video of that celebration, and if you could please play the video at this time.
Today, we did the ribbon cutting on our McAllen ISD UTRGV Collegiate Academy, and it's a momentous occasion. This building has been a few years coming, and a lot of work has gone into this. And so today, we get to celebrate the fact that our students in our community at McAllen ISD have this beautiful building and this facility where our kids will learn. They will do high school and college at the same time.
This is a wonderful project that will give students in McAllen access to the highest quality education. You can't get anything like this anywhere except in the Rio Grande Valley. You can't go to the wealthiest school districts in the state of Texas and get a better education than you'll get right here. Everything is done jointly together. This is truly a joint project in every sense of the word. And when I look at this, I see opportunities for them that they can't get anywhere else in the United States. It really is a distinguishing opportunity for our kids.
I just want to thank everybody that came out here today. It really is a project that has our students in mind. It's an opportunity, and McAllen ISD provides a lot of opportunities for our kids. This is just one new opportunity for our kids to learn and to really work towards becoming their best selves and reaching their potential. So this offers them opportunities at higher ed while they're still in high school, and I can see all of these students just thriving and competing globally at that.
Item B, Business Leaders Tour of our CTE facilities. Dr. Gutierrez.
Leaders from the business and industrial worlds were invited to get a close-up view of the McAllen ISD's career technical education programs on October the 24th. The invitees were asked for their feedback so the programs can better adapt to the needs of the industry. We also have a video on that, and if you can please play the video this time.
This is a CTE advisory committee meeting. Basically what it is, we bring the community members in, a lot of good folks that have an interest in what's happening at McAllen ISD. And so the group is here to look at our programs and kind of evaluate what we're doing and tell us all the good things that we're doing, but also tell us where we can grow, how we can make it better.
Anybody can go to class, but it's those students that are really focused and engaged and not afraid of failing are the ones that are going to ultimately succeed. And that's really what's important. And I think to be able to see that in person is really educational for us, because the feedback that we can give back to them is that these students understand that education is about failing also, and if you fail, you eventually will succeed if you keep on trying. Partnerships with industry and institutions of higher ed are extremely important for school districts. I mean, it's important for school districts to have information that is relevant, but it's also timely. And I think it's important to keep having these engaging meetings with business partners, with industry partners, with organizations from the community who have a vested interest in education, whether it's higher education, K through 12. The communication is key. Communication is key all the way around, but constant communication is even better. If you have that continuous, consistent communication between all partners, it provides all stakeholders an opportunity to learn and relearn what's going on in industry, but what the changes are in industry also, so that they can adapt accordingly.
I think it's a great opportunity. This meeting is a great opportunity for our community to come together with the school district and look at exactly what's happening and how we can help build tomorrow's future, right? And so on our side, we always look for two things, right? We're trying to accomplish two things: get them college ready, career ready, and military ready. That's what we're trying to do.
And Item C, Local Media Honors Memorial Teacher, Dr. Gutierrez.
A teacher of the deaf and hard of hearing students at Memorial High School was recognized by local media on October the 22nd, 2024. She was surprised with the news of being a Teacher Tuesday recipient and was featured on KRGV TV's lifestyle show known as Take 5. We also have a video of this event, and if you can please play the video.
I started off back in middle school about 20 some years ago, and I started off as a paraprofessional, and then I liked it, so then I became an interpreter, a certified interpreter. I did leave to the college level to be an interpreter at the college, but I felt like something was missing. I loved working with the students here. Over there was a very different role, so I decided to come back as a teacher. What I like about teaching the most is when I see them accomplish something that's challenging. The end result, when they're happy, they're able to do something that they have struggled in. That's what makes me happy, and I know I'm doing my job then. And it's not a job. It's something, I don't see teaching a job. I see it more of something that I look forward to, because I understand the challenges they have from transitioning from ASL to English. So when my students are mastering their exams and they're successfully acquiring the English language, that's when I realize that, anything's possible, and especially for them.
Good stuff. Thank you. Number 6, recognitions. We have none, but I do want to welcome Janessa Reina and Carol Ochoa, students from UTRGV. They're auditing our meeting tonight, so welcome to both of you. They're sitting right over here. And I hope you get a great meeting and a good report back. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Proclamations, we have none tonight. Number 8, donations, we have none. And then number 9, items, consent agenda. 9A, discussion and, items 9A through I, and I need
President, I move we approve items 9A through 9I.
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Aliceda and a second by Trustee De La Garza Lopez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion passes 4-0.
Madam President, I'd like to move we reorganize the agenda and move forward item 10D1 and 10D2.
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Aliceda and a second by Trustee De La Garza Lopez to move up items 10D1 and 10D2. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries 4-0. And so 10D1, I believe they're not here yet, so 10D2?
Yes, they're here.
10D1 is here.
10D1 is here?
Yes.
I didn't see them. Kelly's here, I'm sorry. Hold on a second, Kelly. Give me 1 second to catch up with this agenda. Item 10D1, report regarding the delinquent tax collections for period of July 1st, 2024 to September 30th, 2024, including the 2024 Property Value Study Appeal Services Report. Dr. Gutierrez.
Ms. Kelly Salazar from the firm Lamberger, Gogan, Blair, and Sampson will present the delinquent tax collections report for July 1st, 2024 through September 30th, 2024, as well as Mr. Robbie Harbuck will present the annual property value study for a services report. Go ahead, Ms.
Thank you, Dr.
Salazar.
Gutierrez. President Benya and esteemed members of the board. I'm here to present the delinquent tax collection report for the period of July 1st through September 30th, 2024, your first quarter report. Our delinquent tax collection program on behalf of McAllen ISD continues to focus on 2 basic premises. The first is to collect from the individual taxpayer first, and secondly, use a tool of litigation only as a final option to collect. During this first quarter, we completed 3 demand mailings, mailing over 6,700 statements to delinquent taxpayers within the district. We made or received over 1,700 phone calls. We had 15 payoff requests, and we knocked on 162 doors of delinquent taxpayers in the district, educating and informing them of their tax delinquency and doing our best to get them into a payment agreement. Regarding our litigation highlights, we have filed 21 lawsuits, disposed of 32, taken 27 judgments, and we have 259 lawsuits currently pending for the district, representing over $1.5 million owed in base, penalty, and interest. On the next page, you'll see our tax sale and resale highlights. Our office regularly conducts tax sales and resales on judgments with little to no effort to pay on behalf of the taxpayer. During this first quarter, we completed 2 tax sales, placing 4 properties for sale. 2 sold, and 2 were pulled due to a payment agreement or a verbal agreement with the taxpayer. You'll also see, as you scroll a little down, our first quarter collection highlights for this first quarter. This quarter, we collected, and the district received over $717,000 in base tax, over $312,000 in penalty and interest, and you'll see a significant amount of money went to pay refunds due to tax property value protests of $591,000, which is an extreme amount of money, historic, in fact, for the first quarter. Most of that came, about $590,000 in the month of July. Just as a point of interest, there was a business, Dillard's, that protested and got a significant amount of money, but I think a lot of that is attributable also to Homestead, the new Homestead increase. You know, as you know, the appraisal district goes back 2 years as well to include those monies and refunds, but I also want to highlight that's not a refund due to anything on delinquent tax collection side. It's due to appraisal district issues. Looking forward to the next page, you'll see, in summary, we'll continue to, with our collection program, with mailings, litigation, phone calls, on-site property visits, and anything we can do to maximize the collection efforts on behalf of the district. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have before I turn it over to Mr. Harbuck. Okay. Mr. Harbuck is our Director of Property Value Study Appeals for Linebarger, and here he is.
Good evening, Board President Pena, Dr. Gutierrez, and trustees. I am Robbie Harbuck. I'm with Linebarger. I'm the Director of Property Value Studies. To bring us current from last year's report, the last audit cycle to close out for property value study audits was the 2020 property value study audit. We did file, the end of last year, a property value study on the 2020 rolls, and we filed an audit that resulted in $27.6 million in additional value reduction that resulted in an extra $368,000 for the district. Those ledger payments were made back in March and June of this year. Property value studies are conducted and released each year, and they're released January 31st. So the last property value study that was released was the 2023. Your district did receive a property value study. It was valid, so your values were certified to TEA as valid. We reviewed for a self-report appeal to make sure that nothing had affected the local values, and those values actually had increased. So if there's an increase like that, we do not file. It does not work for the district. It works against the district. So there was not a 2023 self-report appeal filed. The 2023 property value study final values were certified to TEA August 15th. That starts a 3-year timeline to file up to 3 audits. So last year, the 2020 audit cycle closed out. This year, the 2021 audit cycle is closing out. We recently reviewed the adjusted local rolls. We did find an adjustment in those. We filed on October 7th a 2021 property value study audit that resulted in $42 million in value reduction. It's pending with the state, so right now it is just an estimate, but what we're looking at is possibly another $530-something thousand in aid gain from that audit. Historically, the district's been valid, so you're receiving a property value study on odd years, and on even years, you're receiving a methods and assistance program review, and as long as values remain valid, it'll alternate like that. If you ever go invalid, you get a property value study every year, and they still alternate the map every other year. So the next property value study that will be released will be the 24. That'll be January 31st of 25. Your values will be valid and certified to TEA, but we will review the local rolls because anything that has adjusted from this past July to that time could cause value reduction. If that has happened, we'll file a self-report appeal, get that reduced, and at final next August, before they start settle up, you'll receive additional funding at that time. So, but that brings us current with what we're doing for property value studies. Any questions with anyone? The packets I handed out, historically, there is a chart in there historically that shows, and there was also a letter with that packet, that since 2012, our filings have resulted in $869.2 million in value reduction, and that has resulted in an additional $11.4 million in aid gain for the district historically. So we keep building on that for the district. And those audits are paid out pretty quick after they're filed, but property value studies that are current, like the 23, it is just now in settle up. Y'all didn't have to have an appeal, so y'all aren't waiting for additional funds. But in a couple years, we will review that for an audit to make sure that nothing's changed, that we could get you more money on. Any questions?
Robbie, I know that you and I talked a lot last year when I was in the other district because the state comptrollers changed property values dramatically in that side of the valley where school districts lost millions of dollars. Any chance that that could happen in Hidalgo County?
Well, the markets have really cooled down because of interest rates and different things that have happened. So with you being valid for 23, that would have really been the first opportunity with all of this that was 21, you could have been invalid. 23, you could have been invalid. So Hidalgo's keeping up. They might, I don't know if they have better resources and maybe some better information, but they are keeping up with these values. So, I mean, things are kind of stagnant and leveled out right now. Now, if interest rates continue to lower over the next couple of years, we could see markets increase again. But I have all the faith that your appraisal district will keep up with those values. You know, we will, January 31st of each year, and each year especially that there's a property value study conducted, we report to the district what the findings are and what our actions will be. 23, we sent a letter stating y'all were valid but would still review for a self-report. You did not end up needing that. 24, we'll send a letter stating that you're valid because you got a map, but we'll still review for a self-report. So we're reviewing your current rolls at the first of each year and then at the end of their audit cycle, but the end of the year we're reviewing the next audit cycle that's closing out. So you're getting a couple, you know, we're constantly reviewing rolls for changes to make sure nothing's being left behind. But if you ever have any questions on any of that, or, you know, always, you know, let us know. Anytime, you know, we can help, we're glad.
Yeah, it's just that the state comptroller revalued the properties at a much higher rate than what
they do. What they do is gather their own, which, I mean, a lot of it's the same information, but what causes that typically is sold properties.
Okay.
And there has not been as many sold properties. But for 24, like I said, y'all are receiving a methods and assistance program review, so you won't have to worry about that. Now, 25, we'll be watching. But, you know, if the markets get hot again, then they could, that could create an issue. But the appraisal districts are usually pretty good at, and even Cameron has been catching up. I mean, if you get in a situation like that, it's not good. It's hard to catch up, but they're catching up. But Hidalgo has not got in that, you know, in that situation.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, we brought up item 10D2. I don't know, you prepared to?
They're not here yet.
They're not here. So we'll just, do we have to rescind the action?
No, we'll just go.
We'll just come back to it.
Yeah.
Item 10, instructional services, instructional leadership, human resources, business and operations, and board of trustees items. Item 10A, instructional services. 10A1, discussion and possible action on agreement number 2025-135 Child Care Local Match Contribution with Texas Workforce Commission. Dr. Gutierrez.
Administration is requesting the approval of the Child Care Local Match Contribution Agreement. Dr. Cynthia Olivares, our Director for State and Federal Programs, is available to answer any questions if needed. We are recommending action on this item.
So moved.
Second. I have a motion from Trustee Alizada and a second from Trustee De La Garza Lopez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. Item carries 4-0. Item 10A2, report regarding state and federal programs. Dr. Gutierrez.
Administration will report on the state and federal programs. Dr. Cynthia Olivares, our Director for State and Federal Programs, will give us some information about her department and what she covers in the state and federal programs division. And this is an information purposes only item. Go ahead, Dr. Olivares.
Thank you, Dr. Gutierrez. I'm honored to be here this evening. Thank you, Board of Trustees, for giving me time to share this information with all of you. Our department is involved in a lot of facets throughout the district, but our overarching purpose really for state and federal programs is to support and improve academic success for all our students. We follow along with the vision and mission statement of the district, as well as supporting our leadership model. Our department oversees 4 federal programs, 4 ESSA programs, which is the Every Student Succeeds Act, and we have Title I Part A, which is improving basic programs, Title I Part C, which is the education of migratory children, Title II Part A, supporting effective instruction, and Title IV Part A, student support and academic enrichment. All combined, these 4 grants total a little over $13.4 million. Another area that we manage out of our office is the State Compensatory Education Program, which is money that is from the state, and by law, the district needs to provide 55% of that money to making sure that students who are at risk and economically disadvantaged are getting that support. So the $12.4 million that we get goes towards making sure that we are providing services for those students who are economically disadvantaged and at risk. As of last week, we had a total enrollment of 19,878 students, and 69.77% of those students were coded as ECODIS, and 54.91% were coded at risk. So with this funding, we do provide 156 full-time employees, of which 120 of those are teachers. And so these employees are, these employees are at our campuses, and they support in various areas. We support programs such as the District AEP program, which are the teachers over at ING, the teachers in the options program, contracts that we have for example, iReady, reading and math, those instructional contracts. We also fund our social workers. We have 10 social workers in the district and a social worker manager. The credit recovery programs that are at the comprehensive high school and the other 2 high schools as well. Our summer school program, extra duty tutoring allocations were distributed to campuses this year. And also we do fund 15 of our Head Start teachers that we have in the district. Now looking at our Title I program a little closer. Title I, this year the award that was granted to, given to us was $10,922,301. After we remove the indirect costs, then we budget for the rest. And the majority of our funding does go towards salaries and stipends and all kinds of any other kind of payroll, which includes tutors, Title I tutors that are at campuses. Then we also allot money for campus allocations, and that we use a formula that's based on the campus enrollment and their percentage of economically disadvantaged students. And so each campus gets their allocation based on their enrollment. Then we do set aside monies for contracts. Again, those are contracts that are mostly for our content areas, for our English, math, science, social studies departments. And then we set aside some monies for summer school. We reserve funds for foster care, homeless children, our parent and family engagement program. And then we leave some money set aside for any type of district-wide purchases that we may need. For example, this year they're being delivered today are the new science kits for all the elementary sci-tech labs. So purchases like that are district-wide are also from this grant. Our parent and family engagement program, for this, we do set aside an allocation of $275,000. From that, we do pay for our 13 parent and family engagement specialists and 4 instructional assistants. All of those positions are at all our campuses, at our Title I campuses. We also have programs for parents, such as Ready Rosie, which is a pre-K to 3rd grade program that brings together home and school for parents. We have over 7,000 parents that have already registered with it. And it's short, quick videos that parents can use at home to do activities with their child in the evening, something quick, but to bring that family bond together. With our parent and family engagement program, we also have parent university meetings every month to educate our parents on all the different programs that we offer in the district. And so various directors will sign up to have informational meetings with our parents. This year we did have our back to school bash. We have a shoe closet that we also have there at Novato for our families. We participate with the McAllen Crime Stoppers during Thanksgiving to find families that are in need of a Thanksgiving dinner. And so this year we're looking right now for 150 families. We then also work with the police department to gift wrap all of the toys that are collected. They bring them to us. We have parents come in, they gift wrap all the toys, and then we send them back out when they do the toy distribution. In January, we'll be having our parent symposium, and in February, we'll be having my little Valentine family celebration. And you all are invited to those. November is Parent and Family Engagement Month, and you've received an invitation. We're going to be having an open house next Tuesday night at Novato, and I'll be providing you with a flyer in just a little bit. Our evening study program has been going on for many, many years in McAllen, and we have evening study classes that are job skills based. We have sewing classes, crafts classes, cricket, first aid, CPR classes, and ESL classes as well. We partner with South Texas College and provide cake decorating classes, welding classes, and basic mechanics. And then with Region 1, we partner with their adult education program to provide ESL classes. We're a site for Region 1, and so those classes are open to the community, but they're full. So we have a pretty busy house. I'm not going to play the video, but the gentleman at the corner has a very nice testimonial about how much the STC course is going to help him and his family and just open doors for his family, and he's very appreciative of that. So it was a very nice testimonial. Title I also has Title I Part C, which is the education of migratory children. That grant was awarded $452,812 this year. We are at 466 identified children, which puts us a little bit ahead of where we were at this time last year. And Mr. Raul Vega is the coordinator. He has 4 office staff, and they're doing a fantastic job. They're taking the students on college trips. They're making sure that they're preparing them for PSAT. They had a boot camp for 9th, 10th, and 11th graders. They had a career exploration day for middle schoolers. And if you click on those photo albums that you see, it'll take you to another presentation that has a lot of photos that just shows you everything that our programs support in the district. Title II is not a grant that goes out to campuses. It is more for supporting the district with providing supportive instruction. And so what we do with this grant It's not a very large grant, it's just a little over $1 million, but we do use it for professional development mostly. For when the content coordinators are doing content planning with teachers, we pay for substitutes so that the teachers can go and attend these trainings. From here, we do pay the stipends for the UTRGV teacher interns. We do pay for summer conferences or any type of conference that any school leaders may attend or teachers, and any kind of consultants, which this gentleman was from Lead Forward, and he came to our Summer Leadership Academy as well. And our last grant is our Title IV grant, which has 3 components. This is a grant, this is our smallest grant. It's $811,602 was the award for this year. It has 3 components, which is the well-rounded area, a safe and healthy component, and the technology component. And with the well-rounded, we do give campuses allocations for STEAM so that they can create after-school activities for children and opportunities for them to learn. A lot of what we pay for, like the chess club after school, a lot of different schools are getting really creative with what they want to do and clubs that they want to create. Last year, the Leon created a piano lab, and so they bought pianos from Valley Keyboards, and so they now have a piano lab and providing piano lessons, and that's very popular at their school. And it's for students who maybe are not involved in other things, but they have the opportunity to learn how to read music and play piano. Makerspace also is one that's housed in every library at the elementary and actually at all campuses, middle school, high school, and elementary. In the summer, we do have some enrichment programs. Fine arts, we did fund, they have the summer musical. And with PE, there's a fitness program that Mr. McClaney has set up. So with the safe and healthy component, we do have 2 crime prevention officers, and you see one there in the picture. He's holding, I think that's Penny. They do community outreach. We also look at mental health. There's a Healthy Students program that we're working with the Nurse Gutierrez at that. And then the Elevate program. We're providing supplemental monies to Elevate so that they can have enough equipment so that more students can participate. So if they only have, 6 baseball bats, then we come in and we say, here's some additional funding for you to get maybe 4 more bats, right? So that kids can, you can have more students engaged. And on the technology end, we do have contracts there. Some of the contracts that we have there would be Prisms. I don't know if y'all have seen that. Prisms is a virtual reality headsets for math that are being used right now at the middle schools. So we have that contract. We do Schmoop, which is to help students at the high schools practice on their SAT and PSAT and testing. And also Edspire is another one. And of course, Makerspace and libraries. And these are some children that are doing some coding at the elementary. But that is all that I have for you. Any questions?
I have but go ahead. I'll wait. I'll wait till the end. Don't go.
This is really amazing and impressive, and thank you for putting this together and helping us understand what's going on and all the
You're
pictures
welcome.
and stuff. Thank you.
Thank
I'm looking at the education of migratory children. We have 466 identified children. I see a lot of activities after school. And is there anything available or unique to these students during the school day? Any resources or curriculum? Because since they are a unique group of students who migrate and, they struggle with meeting new people, learning a new language. I'm just curious, do we have any
yes,
curriculum?
Mr. Vega, we do have tutors that are just for the migrant children. And so he's got a tutor for each level. And the children that he has a priority for services list, the students that are most high need, and so they target those students. So above when the children are at the campus, all of the Title I monies are to serve everyone at the campus, right? But of course, they're going to focus on the at-risk and the and the children who are struggling. So they can get some of that support, but then on top of that, they do get a tutor that comes in from the migrant program to provide supports for them as well.
Thank you. And then I had a question. For the UTRGV teacher intern stipends, is that the residency program or is that,
Yes.
And substitutes, that's just general?
That's general. Those substitutes, anytime, let's say the content coordinators have they do their 6 weeks content or planning with their teachers. So if they pull teachers, then we pay for the substitutes for them to be out.
Okay, very cool.
I just have a couple of things on the after-school programming, the after-hours programming for the parents where you have the sewing and all of that.
Yes.
Maybe our DSPD can do sign language, basic sign language.
Yes,
A
we
little
did try
collab
that
would
last
be
year.
great.
We did, and we did set up a class over at Brown, but because our funding, they have to be parents that are in the district. The classes that were being provided already, I think she had other family members, because her classes really were, the class, and I say her, Ms. Lada's classes that they already have set up. And so we did it last semester, or last year, and we probably need to try it again. I wouldn't mind offering something at our site, but we did have that over at Brown, where she was having those classes. But yes, definitely.
Thanks. And then on the shoe closet,
Yes.
how are you stocking that? Like, do you get donations? How do you do that?
Yes. We had, originally there was a program that was called Caritas, and they were a nonprofit that would provide us with shoes, and then they no longer could do it, so the Rotary Club took over. And so they're the ones that provide us with the shoes. Last year, they gave us $10,000 in brand-new shoes. So we have a lot of shoes. And so at the beginning of the school year, when we had the back-to-school bash, we also were giving out vouchers for shoes there. And then we had we had families come by and pick up their shoes. And so we did we had over 500 families that went by to pick up shoes.
That's great.
And that's open the whole year. So in working with the social workers and the parent and family engagement specialists, anytime that there's any kind of need anywhere, if the counselors identify a child that needs shoes or clothing, they work together with the social worker, with the parent family engagement specialist, and they can come and get whatever the student needs, whatever the family needs.
Amazing. Thank you. That's all I've got. Thank you for that presentation.
Thank you so much, Dr. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Olivares.
Item 10A3, discussion and possible action on the McAllen Independent School District Wellness Plan. Dr. Gutierrez.
The district wellness plan gets updated and must be presented annually and approved by the Board of Trustees. We are recommending action on this item.
Do we have a presentation on that?
Dr. De Hoyos?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Gutierrez. Good evening, Board. So the District School Health Advisory Council, SHAC, promotes the development and update of the District Wellness Plan and advocates for the implementation of efforts that support student health and wellness. So like Dr. Gutierrez mentioned, triannually, the District Wellness Plan is updated and presented to the Board. And tonight, I am going to ask also Ms. Sonia Esquivel, our Director for Child Nutrition Program, and Mr. Brian McClaney, which is our Athletic Director, to join me, and they will share the goals and efforts for this plan. I will start with the objective, and then I will end with the compliance report. So the wellness plan objective is that the district supports the general wellness of all students by implementing measurable goals to promote sound nutrition, physical activity in students' health, and reduce childhood obesity. The district SHAG reviews and considers evidence-based strategies and techniques to develop nutrition guidelines and wellness goals as required by law. These are the goals for 24-25.
Okay, thank you. So Mr. McClenny and I will go over the goals for 24-25. And so the first goal focuses on nutrition promotion, and the goal states that the district's food service staff, teachers, and district personnel shall constantly promote healthy, nutritious messages in cafeteria, classrooms, and other appropriate settings. And so our efforts as a child nutrition staff, we will partner with campus administrators to provide in providing and displaying educational material promoting healthy, nutritious messages, including promoting local fruits and vegetables and their benefits, as well as we will inform staff and parents on the district standard of food and beverage sold to students during the school day. The second goal focuses on nutrition education, and the goal states that the district shall deliver nutritious education that fosters adapting and maintaining healthy eating behaviors. So the Child Nutrition uses its website, and it offers a wealth of resources, including nutrition education, nutrition and fitness tips, and parent menus. We are dedicated to promoting healthy eating habits among students by providing nutritious meals options such as salads. So our daily menu will feature either a side salad or an entree salad daily, as we believe that increasing exposure to healthy choices will encourage students to try and enjoy healthier eating choices.
All right, goal 3, physical activity. The district shall have a K through 12 physical education curriculum and make appropriate before and after school physical activity programs available and encourage students to participate. So our K through 12 curriculum, we have a curriculum writing team that meets 3 days during the summer. They look at the scope and sequence. They look at the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. So we have 6 elementary PE teachers, 4 middle school teachers, and 3 high school teachers. So they meet for 3 days to make sure that the curriculum is being followed, that the scope and sequence, they even bring it down all the way down to lessons. We also have 3 chats, 1 elementary teams chat, 1 middle school teams chat, and a high school teams chat where they share best practices throughout the year. So if they have a great, lesson on volleyball, a lot of times they'll put little snippets in the chat, or classroom management, or how they come into the gym. Also, as far as the before and after school physical activity programs available, we have great partnerships with the City of McAllen's Parks and Rec, the City of McAllen Boys and Girls Club. We also promote the McAllen's Kids Marathon, where that is outside of school, also in school, and in January it's also out of school. The McAllen ISD, McAllen Boys and Girls Club Elevate Developmental League, we had about 2,500 participants last year, so that's a great thing. And we have our elementary cross-country meet coming up November 20th, and the track meet in the spring. We also have a 6th grade track meet, and our Safe and Secure programs, which also integrate some type of fitness there, on top of all the clubs and organizations that elementary, middle school, and high schools have that are around physical fitness.
And our last goal is school-based activities. So the goal states that the district shall allow sufficient time for students to eat meals in clean, safe, and comfortable cafeteria facilities. And so we partner with a lot of other departments, such as FMO, which helps us, day after day in solving any type of issues that we might find in the cafeteria and allowing it to be a safe and clean environment for our students.
And so all wellness plans must be in compliance with 6 of these areas. The 6 areas that are listed here: nutrition education, which is very aligned to Goal 2, includes goals for nutrition education that are designed to promote student wellness. Also, we're compliant with the USDA Child Nutrition and School Meals requirement with Goal 2 and 4 that our directors just went over. The nutrition standards for competitive and other foods and beverages for Goal 1. It addresses the compliance with USDA nutrition standards for all food and beverages sold to students during the school day. Also, we're complying with Goal 3 for the physical education and physical activity, that we do have a written physical education curriculum from K through 12. And then the wellness promotion and marketing is satisfied with Goal 1 and 3, which encourages our students to eat healthy and practice physical activity behaviors. And then through SHAC, we ensure that the implementation, evaluation, and communication of this wellness plan is well established. And that's our presentation. If you have any questions, please let us know.
I do have some questions. So how do we ensure that we follow this wellness plan? Is there any type of rubric or scale, or do we ever audit this to make sure that we're?
Every year, we use an evaluation tool that is provided. We have a choice from 3 different evaluation tools. We use one that is provided by the state, and that's how we are able to know if we're compliant with the requirements or not. Through the SHAC meetings, we have 4 required meetings that we meet every year, 2 each semester. And in that committee, which is composed of 31 campus representatives, about 9 district level administrators or directors, and then 10 community members that are composed between parents and business owners. We come together, we meet, like I said, every 2 months. I know we had one September 20, I have them here. September 25th, we had our first meeting. November 20th is our next meeting. We also have January 29th and March 26th. We come together, we looked at our district wellness plan. We discuss also the efforts and how close we are in meeting those goals through those efforts every meeting. We also discuss the campus wellness plans in those meetings. Each campus representatives, they discuss, they break out in committee breakout sessions, and then they come and they share out throughout the meeting. We do have those meetings recorded. We do post them in our website as required by policy. And so that's how we keep each other accountable for the goals and the efforts and the progress of those efforts.
Okay, thank you. And looking at the health and nutrition education, do we have a specific curriculum or framework or program that we subscribe to, or nothing yet?
We partner a lot with a lot of efforts that are happening with Texas Department of Agriculture. So they run programs like local fruits and vegetables, and during those weeks or that month that we're doing that, that's where we're sending out a bunch of promotions to the cafeterias. We've also had coaches reach out to our registered dietitian, and they will go and do a presentation for students. So we do partner a lot with what's going on with the TDA.
Okay. What portion of our food budget is spent within the state of Texas? That might be something we need to look up later, but does anyone have that off the top of their head?
No, I don't have that on the top of my head. It's pretty hard to kind of assess. Yeah, because our manufacturers are from all over.
Right.
But we do have a certain percentage that we do buy during certain times. We do have certain products that are made here locally in Edinburgh. So.
Okay. And I have one more question, and then I'll just say a few things. But Mr. McClenny, so I think athletics and physical activity is looking great, especially in middle and high school. What about elementary schools during the school day? Because my understanding is middle and high school, they have an athletics period daily, but in elementary, isn't it weekly that they have like a PE?
No, they have
every
PE.
day?
Yes, and then some campuses choose to have longer PE periods, maybe 3 days a week. But every one of our elementary campuses are meeting the minimum. And every one of our campuses, probably the minimum is probably 158 minutes a week, and I think the minimum is 135. Middle school, we're beating the minimum by a lot. We have PE in middle school 6th, 7th, and 8th. You only need 4 out of 6 semesters of physical education, but physical activity is very important.
Right.
But at the elementary, we are surpassing the minimum number of minutes.
Okay, that's good. I get concerned just for our younger students with all the testing and 8 hours in a school day and making sure. Sometimes I hear that they're pulled from recess to be tested or for extra tutoring, and I want to make sure that they, because this is part of our wellness plan, that we're also offering opportunities for them to exercise and socialize that they don't get often during the school day. So,
Well, we discourage the
Yeah.
pull out of physical education or recess
Okay,
because
good.
kids need it.
Yeah.
They need to get that energy out of them.
Okay. Well, I do have a really quick recommendation. This is not an issue that's unique to McAllen ISD, by the way. I think we all know cafeteria food and the vending machines and all that we provide nationally needs some attention, right? I feel that at McAllen ISD we have so many more opportunities to partner with local agencies, especially because we're in the Rio Grande Valley and we have one of the richest farming areas, top citrus, richest areas for vegetables and fruits. I'm hearing a lot of districts now kind of shifting towards partnering more with local vendors. I know that's kind of a complicated process through the vending procedure, but there are programs I'd love to meet with you at some point that I know that some big school districts like Austin ISD are partnering with to help reframe the vendor process and making sure that goals are aligned. Okay, sustainability, local sourcing things locally, nutrition, animal welfare, all these different core values. I think it'd be good for us to, and that's why I asked that question, if we know how much of our budget is spent outside, because it's like we're sourcing probably from California with our citrus. We should be sourcing locally,
Yeah. And that's
wild.
one of the issues that when we've gone like to Region 1 and they talk to us as, child nutrition directors or purchasers, that's one of the hard parts is sourcing it.
Right.
And so I know TDA knows that it's a problem as well because they've asked us questions about what is the biggest hurdle, and everybody says it's the sourcing of it.
Right.
So, yeah.
So I understand that's an issue, and I want to try to help support different ways around so we can, it's so important that our students eat, but we have to look into the kind of food that we're giving them too, because we struggle with diabetes and obesity. But yeah, I think that if we can incorporate some more locally sourced programs and activities for our students, like farmers markets and culinary competitions, or all this other all this other stuff, we can really shift towards something that will bring more students also to our district because it's unique to the valley.
Yes.
That's all I have to say.
If I can piggyback on her last portion there, the 4-H kids, all of our 4-H kids participate in the Citrus and Vegetable Show at the Livestock Show in December, mid-December, and it is all about being good stewards of the land and learning how to cultivate the land so that you can eat from the land. And so they've got great curriculum and programming for that. So you might want to get with the ag teachers and kind of see what they're doing, because that's, apart from being super fun, super educational.
Yeah.
And so
That's good job. Thank you.
I move we approve item 10A3.
Second.
I have a motion from trustee Aliceda and a second from trustee De La Garza Lopez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you for that presentation.
Thank you so much.
Item 10A4, discussion and possible action of the innovative course Navigating Life for Students Who Are Deaf and Hard of Hearing course for the Regional Day School Program for the Deaf, RDSPD students. Dr. Gutierrez.
Yes, administration is requesting approval of the innovative course Navigating Life for Students Who Are Deaf or Hard of Hearing. This course is for the Regional Day School Program for the Deaf, RDSPD students. Ms. Lisa Lara, Director for RDSPD, will share more information, and we are recommending action on this item. Ms. Lara.
Do you have the presentation? Oh, there you go. Sorry about that. Good evening, Dr. Gutierrez, Madam President, and trustees. So this course, the title of the course is Navigating Life for Students Who Are Deaf or Hard of Hearing. And the purpose of this course is to provide the necessary information, resources, and opportunities that will empower students who are deaf or hard of hearing to effectively apply information and skills learned in education, in educational, home, and community settings in order to facilitate achievement in secondary and post-secondary environments. Areas to be addressed include audiology, hearing health, assistive technology, available support services and accommodations, communications, self-determination and advocacy, and deaf culture. This course is a TEA innovative course, and it can be offered in grades 9 through 12. We would like to offer it especially to our seniors. And it is an awarded credit, a one awarded credit. It satisfies an elective credit for graduation. We do have essential knowledge and skills for this course, and we have resources provided by Texas Sensory Network. This course fosters knowledge of students' culture, self-advocacy skills, greater understanding of their own hearing loss. They will learn about deaf history, deaf culture, and their deaf community. It promotes post-secondary readiness by preparing the students to transition to the community, workplace, and vocational training centers or college. And so this came about, we do have a Deaf Education Advisory Committee, and part of the membership in that committee, we do invite former students to come, and they have expressed that this is something they would have liked to have had. They go off to colleges, in some cases, Gallaudet University, and they have felt that they would have liked to have known more about the deaf culture and deaf history and just their own hearing loss so that they know how to advocate for themselves. And so this is a course that we found that the state does have. We're not required to provide it, but I think that it would be great for our students to have that with them when they leave and they prepare, whether it's for the job force or for the university. I think this would be wonderful for our students to leave our district prepared and knowing everything they need to know about navigating life as a deaf student. Any questions?
I think it's wonderful. I move we approve it.
Second.
I have a motion from trustee Aliceda and a second from trustee Kilman. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries 4-0. Item 10C, Human Resources items. 10C1, discussion of possible action of additional revisions, deletions of local policies resulting from TASB policy review session, second reading. Dr. Gutierrez.
Additions, revisions, deletions of local policies resulting from the policy review session conducted on July the 23rd through the 24th, 2024, with drafts prepared by the Texas Association of School Boards Policy Service. Dr. Canales, Chief Human Resources Officer, will share more information on this item. We are recommending action on this item.
We met on this last time with Chris Train via the internet. We do have all the revisions that were sent by what the board recommended. So she sent that really over, I think, the next day, and all the revisions were made. So we motion to approve the items.
I'll take a motion from Dr. Canales.
He's requesting.
I didn't have any.
I did have, but I can't find it. It was on the at-will employees.
Remember, we had a special board meeting on this, and we had all the recommended changes that the board requested, and those were done, Dr. Canales, and forwarded to the board members, all the changes?
Yes.
And they're reflected here in this packet.
Correct. So everything that was recommended by you all that evening, Chris Train went that same evening, updated everything, and the next day she had that forwarded to us as recommendations by what you all recommended.
Oh, no, good.
I guess I just wanted clarification, because I remember we talked about this. It was the one on page 172, employment of non-contractual personnel, board delegates to the superintendent. I want to say we discussed it, and y'all said that there's something like in the, this was not part of, I can't
board, but
remember.
it should have gone to the employee
Yeah.
handbook, maybe?
I remember you discussed a little bit of it, but
want
can you go
policy
to that
DC?
page and show us the revisions on that one really quick?
DC?
172, DC local.
DC local. Yeah. The Atwell.
Or just remind us why we're removing this from,
It was on page 172, I think.
172, DC local, employment practices, proposed revisions. I thought that, I remember I asked if this was getting rid of the progressive discipline, and I can't remember what the answer was. And that y'all said this was not part of that.
Yeah, the progressivism will be in our regulation.
Right.
Oh,
It
So,
won't be in the policy, but it's in our regulation, how we follow the steps of progressive discipline.
Yeah, that's what they said.
so is that applicable to this on the at-will employees?
This doesn't have to do with progressive.
No.
Yeah, it's almost like
Oh, the bottom part there?
The strikeout.
the strikeout, yeah.
So this was a policy that didn't exist and now is being inserted. That's my memory. And so I think that's what, there was question marks on, we didn't have this policy in place before, so it's not like it's an update or a change, it's a complete new policy. So I think that's what you were saying, trustee.
That's right.
Is why do we have a new policy? Did they remove it from the previous?
Right, no, you're right, okay. I couldn't remember why or how we struck it, but I think Ms. Train did say that this was the new.
This was a new
Okay,
policy.
got it. I remember now.
I saw all the additions and omissions and everything that we did were indeed done, so thank you so much for that. My only thing is there's not 7 trustees here tonight, and policy is our law, it's what we go by, and so I don't have a issue tabling it until all 7 are present, but I also don't have an issue doing it tonight, but just out of courtesy, if everybody wants to wait for all 7.
I'm fine with that, too.
Yes. No action on it tonight. We move it, place it on the next meeting
December.
agenda.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a great
Yeah.
recommendation.
And they all have a copy, correct, all board members?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we all
Okay,
got
so
a
so
copy.
that they can review it. Yeah. So we'll just move it, so the motion is to table it?
Yes, only, I mean, I have no issue with it. I saw you added everything and deleted everything, and everything looks fantastic, but just out of respect for everybody else.
Okay.
It is policy, and that's a great consideration.
So motion is to table?
Yeah.
I make a motion, you motion to table?
Go ahead, yeah.
I move to table item 10C1.
C1.
Second, go ahead, second.
Go ahead.
I have a motion by trustee De La Garza Lopez and a second by trustee Aliceda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion passes 4-0.
We'll go to 10D3?
Yeah.
Because they're not here yet.
We're going to skip over 10D2 and hope they make it. Do we have any updates from them, Natalie? No?
They should be here maybe in about 10, 15 minutes.
We're going to go on to 10D3. We'll come back to,
another board meeting, coming from another board.
we'll come back to 10D2 and after. 10D3, report regarding the financial and investment report for the quarter of July to September 2024. Dr. Gutierrez.
Ms. Lorena Garcia, our Deputy Superintendent for Business and Operations, will present the financials and investment report for the quarter of July through September of 2024. This item is for information purposes only. Go ahead, Ms. Garcia.
Good evening, Madam President, members of the board. Dr. Gutierrez, before you have the report of the budget to revenues, expenditures, and encumbrances, and this covers through the end of the month in September. Column A and B, compare last year's budget to column C and D, which is this year's budget for the same period. Revenues for the current school year as of 9/30, this would include any budget amendments that the board has approved up to this date, so the total for that would be $249,576,288. And then on the expenditure columns, it's $270,604,203. And the reason why that number is larger is because you have approved carry forward projects that weren't completed in the previous year that have been amended as expenditures into this current year. So that's why some of them are amounts that were budget amendments from special programs, fund balances, and carry forward purchase orders. We do have a small amendment for the additional needs. So that's why that amount is greater. As you can see at the bottom under revenues, over or under expenditures, last year we did finish the year quite successfully in terms of revenues being a little bit over, almost $11 million over the expenditure. So we received almost $11 million more than what was spent last year, leaving a preliminary ending fund balance of $145,755,703, and we are, based on the current data, we are projecting an ending fund balance preliminary for this year of $147 million. We also have attached the investment report, and this is for the quarter of July 1st to September 30th. Our portfolio is at $152 million for the period, and ending in September 30th was at $155 million. The report goes into some economic factors impacting the market currently today, so it's a good read if you're interested in that. But getting to the good stuff, as far as our investment earnings for the quarter, we had a total of $1.7 million for the investment earnings. So we're still receiving a good yield on our investments. So attached to that is a breakdown of all the different investment by security type and by fund. That breaks it down for the public to see, and that information is available on our website. So that concludes the financial report. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, thank you on that. And our friends, our Burton McCumber are here. So yes, we're going to move over to item 10D2, or move back to discussion and possible action of the annual comprehensive financial report for the year ended June 30th, 2024. Dr. Gutierrez.
The Texas Education Agency and Board Policy CFC requires that an annual audit report be prepared and approved by the board. The annual comprehensive financial report for the year ended June 30th, 2024 shall indicate whether the statements are presented in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles. Ms. Lorena Garcia, our Deputy Superintendent for Business and Operations, will introduce our independent auditors. As an administration, we are recommending action on this item.
Good evening. Today we have with us from Burton McCumber, Mr. Ricky Longoria and Lopez, and they will provide us a summary of the annual comprehensive financial report that has been completed.
And we have this booklet that we received from our audit report that they will summarize. Go ahead.
Yeah. Good evening, board. Again, my name is Ricky Longoria with BML. I'm here with Luis Lopez, and we are here to present the annual comprehensive financial report. Certainly, we did have the opportunity to meet with the Finance Committee, the Audit Committee, and Dr. Gutierrez and others. I think we had probably a good long 45-minute meet, I think. And I felt that the topics that we covered were constructive. And so it's not our intent really tonight to go over that entire meeting again, but rather to speak to a couple of items and certainly address any questions that you all may have with regard to the audit report. That workbook or the actual audit report that you have covers, I think I just saw 211 pages, so at your leisure, if you all ever want to go through it, feel free to always reach out to us. Certainly, we are here to serve in case you all ever have a question, a follow-up question that post this meeting. As a housekeeping matter, there are some things I do have to cover, just because the professional standards require that I do before Luis kind of gets into the number that included within the audit report. And it's called the governance letter. You all should have it as a separate, probably stapled letter. My intent is not to read to you all verbatim the letter itself, but just kind of speak to the highlights within each particular section. So if you all would allow me, just confirming again, we're here to discuss the audit of the financial statements of McAllen ISD for the year ended June 30th, 2024. So I can certainly appreciate the fact that you all were going through current information, which I know is probably more valuable to you all at this time as you all work through today's challenges and the challenges that may come in the future. We as auditors tend to be historians, and so we're here to talk about the past. Again, June 30th, 2024. Acknowledging that management is responsible for the selection and use of accounting policies, and also makes reference to the fact that there are footnotes included within the audit report itself. Again, sometimes folks dive into the audit, into the numbers themselves, but numbers need to be taken in context, and sometimes that context is provided within the footnotes within the audited financial statements. Acknowledging that our audit was performed in accordance with government auditing standards, and of course that included a single audit. The school district did receive under the period audit about $70 million worth of federal funding, and so that requires that we expand the scope of our work to include a single audit. Acknowledging that the audit report does include estimates. Some folks, assume that that accounting is a science. They always say, Ricky, debits equal credits, and they do. But at the end of the day, what goes into the numbers sometimes include estimates, such as, for example, an allowance for uncollectible accounts and things of that nature. I think it's important to confirm to you all and to the public as well that we encountered no difficulties in completing our audit. In fact, at the end of our report, we don't even have any findings in this particular year. We have in the past, we've come up with constructive things that I know the school district has addressed, but this year we had no difficulties at all. And certainly we have the benefit of experience of working with you all staff, and so that kind of helped move things along. And also acknowledging the fact that we had no disagreements with management during the audit process. Certainly, as you would expect, and maybe even anticipate, that certainly during the audit process, there are conversations about certain things, but at the end of the day, they don't rise to a level that I would ever describe as a disagreement. Acknowledging that management, again, did sign a representation letter, acknowledging their responsibilities with respect to the financial statements. And other than that, that's really just kind of overview of the governance letter itself. I'm going to let Luis talk about a number or two, and certainly we'll just open it up to questions, okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Longoria.
Good evening. Before we get into the numbers, just wanted to acknowledge and recognize the school district. On page 10, you have the Certificate of Achievement for Excellence in Financial Reporting. This award is awarded to governmental entities that present an annual comprehensive financial report, which is above and beyond an annual financial report. It includes additional information, trends and analysis in the back, combining schedules. So I want to congratulate the school district for submitting last year's report and receiving this award, as they have for many years. And my understanding is that this report as well will be submitted for consideration for that award.
Thank you.
As Ricky mentioned, we did meet with with the audit committee yesterday, so my intent here is to keep it very short. But one thing I just wanted to make mention of, probably one of the most important things on page 20 is our independent auditor's report. We are issuing a clean opinion on the financial statements. What that means is that, in our opinion, these financial statements, as they are presented fairly in all material respects. So the numbers as presented, there were no errors as they are presented that within those financial statements. Turning into page 39, focusing on the general fund, most important number that you're probably interested in is, where are we in our unassigned fund balance? As of June 30th, and we are looking again, as of June 30th, as Ricky mentioned, we are historians, we look at the past. As of June 30th, your unassigned fund balance was $93,073,671. At that level, that meets and actually exceeds the minimum required by TEA. It's important to note there's a lot of uncertainty with the legislature. We just had elections. There's a lot of unknowns on what's happening with school finance in the coming year and beyond, with vouchers and things like that. So it's important to continue to be conservative to make sure that you address any needs as they arise. Really, that's really all we really wanted to just focus on that fund balance. We did have discussions about other topics, including the health insurance fund, and what the district is doing in that regard. But with that, if you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer those.
I don't have any questions. I thought that the presentation yesterday was really great. I do have concerns, which I know we addressed, about the employee health balance that we have, which is very little. And then from what I understand, the workman's comp balance, which is very high. So I'm excited to see what, Ms. Garcia and our benefits side can work together to ensure that. And I think also we mentioned, as an employer, we are submitting very low compared to neighboring districts. So I'm excited to see what compensation or what balance we can do to assist our families and our employees with the rising cost of health care. So thank you for bringing that to our attention.
Sure.
Okay. Yes, thank you for all the information you shared with us as well. And we are happy that we got a clean audit. And so thank you very much. Thank you to the team and everybody that worked on this particular project, because the numbers are complicated and it's all good. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity to allow us to be of service. And thank you to the staff. Everything went smoothly, and we're here today presenting a timely audit.
Kind of want to go.
Thank you guys so much.
Madam President, I move that we approve the annual audit report, the annual comprehensive financial report for the year ended June 30th, 2024.
Second.
I have a motion from Trustee Aliceva and a second from Trustee De La Garza Lopez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion passes 4-0. Thank you, Mr. Longoria. Thank you, sir, for coming by.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Item 10D4, discussion and possible action of the McAllen Independent School District October budget amendment for fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2024 and ending June 30th, 2025. Dr. Gutierrez.
Administration is recommending the approval of the October budget amendment for the 24-25 fiscal year. Ms. Lorena Garcia, our Deputy Superintendent for Business and Operations, will present the budget amendment. We are recommending action on this item.
This budget amendment has a very few changes to the budget. As far as the biggest one that we have on here is in regards to food service. They had a grant that remained unspent at the end of the year. It went into their Fund 101 fund balance, and now we're pulling it out of their fund balance so that they can spend that on food and some maintenance and repair type uses with that funding. That amount is $358,797. And then in the capital projects, we basically had a transfer that the net effect was zero. It was just from one function to the other. And that's a summary of the budget amendment.
I move we approve the budget amendment.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Eliseda and a second by trustee De La Garza Lopez. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries 4-0. Item 10D5, discussion and possible action of 2024 McAllen ISD tax roll. Dr. Gutierrez.
The property tax code requires a tax assessor to enter the amount of tax determined per section 26.09, section E, in the appraisal roll and submit it to the governing body of the district for approval. The appraisal roll with amounts of tax entered as approved by the governing body constitutes the district's tax roll. Ms. Lorena Garcia, our Deputy Superintendent for Business and Operations, will present the 2024 McAllen ISD tax roll. We are recommending action on this item.
We received the property tax roll for a tax levy for 2024 from Mr. Paul Villarreal, Hidalgo County Tax Assessor, Tax Collector. It provides the tax roll amount for McAllen ISD. Of course, this is for current collections. The budget is established at an estimated 96% tax collection rate of the current levy, plus then we have the delinquent tax collections as well. The tax assessor provides the district with the monthly tax collection report, which we do bring to the board, and they also provide an annual report. The levy that was received, the district's, was based on the certified values of July 19th, 2024. That was for budget purposes. And in terms of the latest information that we received from the tax assessor collector, the district's 2024 tax roll is $89,170,675.64. That amount has decreased since we last reviewed it with the county appraisal district, and a lot of that has to do with the property value appeals that have been approved. This number will also change a little bit more as some pending appeals are still in progress. But we are required that the board approve the tax roll every year.
Do I get a motion?
So moved.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee Eliseda and a second by trustee De La Garza Lopez. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries 4-0. Item 10D6, this item is being pulled. Dr. Gutierrez?
Yes, we're going to pull this item. We are going to bring it in the December 10th meeting. We still have some more further review that we need to do in this proposal, so we'll bring it back December the 10th.
Thank you very much. Item 10E, Board of Trustees items. 10E1, approval of Board of Education meeting minutes. 10E1A, special board meeting October 21st, 2024. 10E1B, regular board meeting October 22nd, 2024.
Administration is recommending action on these items.
So moved.
I'll second. I have a motion by trustee De La Garza Lopez and a second by trustee Peña. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries 4-0. Item 10E2, approval of the resolution of the Board of Trustees for McAllen Independent School District expressing its votes for appraisal district directors for the 2025 through 2027 Hidalgo County Appraisal District Board of Directors.
It is time for the district to vote on the candidates for the 2025 through 2027 term through a resolution for the Hidalgo County Appraisal District Board of Directors. Administration is recommending action on this item.
Do I read the resolution first? Okay, let me read this resolution. The resolution, State of Texas, County of Hidalgo. Whereas the Chief Appraiser of Hidalgo County Appraisal District has called for the election of the Hidalgo County Appraisal District Board of Directors, and whereas McAllen Independent School District is entitled to cast a total of 400 votes in said election, and whereas ballots must be cast at the first or second open meeting after receiving the ballot and must be returned no later than the third day following its adoption. Now therefore be it resolved by McAllen Independent School District does hereby cast 280 of 400 votes for Albert Cardenas and 120 of 400 votes for Richard A. Garza, for a total of 400 votes, for Hidalgo County Appraisal District Board of Directors 2025 through 2027. Read, passed, and approved at a regular meeting of the Board of Trustees for McAllen Independent School District on this 12th day of November 2024. So I need a,
Second.
I have a motion by Trustee Aliceda and a second by Trustee De La Garza Lopez. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion passes 4-0. Congratulations, Mr. Cardenas and Mr. Garza. And item 11, recess to closed session. The Board of Trustees may go into closed session pursuant to sections 551.071, 551.072, 551.074, 551.076, and 551.089 Texas Government Code to discuss the following. 11A, Human Resources Recommendations for School Year 2024-2025, discussion of human resources employee resignations and retirees for school year 2024-2025. 11C, discussion regarding school safety and security. 11D, pending and or potential litigation. 11E, possible real estate acquisition. At 7:01, we are in closed session. At 8:08 p.m., we are back in open session. Item 13, action on items in closed session. 13A, discussion and possible action of human resources recommendations for school year 2024-2025. Dr. Gutierrez.
Human Resources is submitting a list of recommendations for the 2024-2025 school year under a separate cover for discussion during closed session.
Move to approve.
We are recommending action on this item.
Second.
I have a motion by trustee De La Garza Lopez and a second by trustee Aliceda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries 4-0. Item 13B, discussion of human resources employee resignations and retirees for school year 2024-2025. Dr. Gutierrez.
Human Resources submitted a list of resignations and retirees for the 2024-2025 school year under a separate cover for discussion during closed session. This item is for information purposes only.
Thank you. And items 13C, discussion regarding school safety and security. No action on that. 13D, pending and/or potential litigation.
Nothing to report.
Thank you, Mr. Ball. 13E, possible real estate acquisition.
Same announcement.
Thank you, Mr. Ball. Item 14.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
I have a motion from trustee Aliceda and a second from trustee De La Garza. All those in favor of adjournment signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed signify by saying nay. Motion carries 4-0. We are adjourned at 8:09 p.m.